It's Rock Talk. You know, you come up against it all the time. These people, these college idiots, these graduated but yet still worthless people that they complain about how hard times are, and yet they have tens of thousands of dollars of education that you don't. Ostensibly, that makes them smarter than you because that's what they think, that's what they've been told. And yet they still struggle with some real basic concepts. Human nature is a hell of a thing and divides us from other species on this planet as far as we know. It makes us capable of doing amazing things and excelling beyond the sum of our parts and becoming more than just our simple biological nature. It allows for things like altruism, helping others just for the sake of helping others. And there are still, even today, in these convoluted times of virtue signaling and whatnot, people that would stop and just help somebody and never stick around and wait for a reward or take a selfie after they help change a tire in the rain, and then just go on with their day, just quietly helping people. Real heroic stuff. And that's one element of human nature that is inside all of us. But what is also inside all of us is terrible things. You can fail at painting and go on to be a genocidal maniac and try to exterminate a race of people and put them in camps and then do terrible things. That's also human nature. I'm not defending any of that. I don't know why anybody would think I am, but yet sometimes I have to remind them that I'm not a champion of negative behavior. I'm just pointing out that the very same thing, our consciousness that allows us to do the good things, also makes us capable of the bad things, and sometimes allows us to be objectively evil. So humans are capable of evil, humans are capable of good, all humans are. So, I think, for the most part, you can probably drive this home even amongst college idiots. Maybe you can't. I don't know how stupid they really are. I know they're pretty stupid. I just don't know the depths of their stupidity. So I have to make this one assumption to move forward, that we can teach them this much. Alright, so we have that in mind. Human nature, good and bad, both. Now let's get into this tired topic of racism. Oh my god. You can be racist towards any race. And any time you attribute something good or bad to someone as a product of their race, quote unquote, because I don't believe in race, but that's another topic, you're being racist. Asians are good at math is no more or less racist than old white men are what's wrong with the economy and society. So they're old and white? They're white, that's why they're hurting the economy and society? Alright. So, no black government, no black-run government has ever done any harm. No black people have ever done attempted genocide. No Chinese people have ever, wiped out to the last man their opposition. No other Asian group or Middle Eastern group has ever attempted to, mass murder a group of people that don't align with their values or their culture. Okay. That's interesting. Let me clue you in on something. Every race, quote unquote, that has existed on this earth has been slaves. You had the Islamics enslaving white people and Europeans and what have you. You had Chinese people enslaving, other groups. I'm sure Japan's probably tried their hand at being slave owners themselves. Every race has been slavers, and every race has been slaves. So put that shit back in the deck. Most of the people bitching about slavery have never themselves experienced any first-hand encounter with the practice of slavery. Which is funny considering there is slavery going on right now. You could get a ticket to some spots in Africa and you can go buy yourself a human being for $300 to $500. Well, and with inflation, it's probably going to cost you a little more now. Maybe as much as $700, $800. Still though, you want to buy a human? You can buy one. And you can do whatever you want with them. They have no agency. They have no rights. You can just do whatever. They're their property. This goes on today. It's going on in China right now. To a lesser extent, it's going on here in America as well, where we have this illegal border crossing issue that people come on over here, and then once they get here, they're basically indentured servants, and they're compelled to perform various flavors of labor for an indeterminate amount of time to earn their passage over here, working for far less than minimum wage, enjoying no particular benefits of being an American, solely for the privilege of being here. And this is something that's never dried up because Republicans and Democrats alike love their cheap labor. They also like exporting labor overseas, where slavery is a lot more easy to propagate out in the open. I mean, if you came across like a South or Central American that was being treated in such a way and you became aware of it, you'd probably, for most of you, step in and put a stop to it. So it's kind of hard to commit slavery in America without having somebody pump the brakes on your fun. You know, human trafficking is not something that a lot of us have a stomach for, and I'm grateful for that. We're better people over here. And yes, some cultures are better than others. I know that's not a popular opinion and it'll get people big mad, but I don't really give a shit. Some cultures are better than others. Some cultures respect women better than other cultures. You know, there's a certain religion of peace that has something that's basically can refer to as the right-hand rule. You should look it up. It's kind of edifying. You want to talk about inequality over here, you don't even know shit. You can take a couple hours on a plane and go somewhere where you can experience some real inequality as a woman. Wouldn't do it because you're fucking full of shit. So, all humans of every color and hue and every cultural background are all human. They all have human nature. They are all of a species. So for you to say that you can't be racist against white people, the only way that you can make that assertion and you can put that forward is if you're making the assertion that non-whites are not human, or that whites are not human. One or the other. It's a very binary thing. If you can't be racist towards white people, it's either because you think white people are less than human, or you think every other race than white people are less than human. Now, I don't think that if white people were less than human, they would be capable of oppressing every other race. They would be too stupid. They would be too undeveloped. They would be too barbaric to ever have an organized and concerted structure of oppression for any other race, unless they're like aliens or something. So that leads me to believe that if you think all white people are racist and you can't be racist against white people, that you're ascribing every other race to be less than human, subhuman. So black people can't help but be oppressed because they don't even have, enough brains to stand up for themselves. You have to champion, the black cause, not being black, just a spoiled, rotten white girl with daddy issues, because black people are too stupid to do it themselves. That's what you're saying. When you're saying you can't be racist against white people, you're saying that black people are less than white people and need protection. You're basically saying that black people are inferior. So even if you think you can't be racist against white people, you're being very racist against black people, aren't you? Because now you're saying that you have to be their Khaleesi. What gives? Why do you hate? Why do you hate the idea that black people are capable of everything that you are? Why do you hate the idea that black people can fight their own battles and stand for their own causes? Why do you hate the concept that black people are capable of all the amazing accomplishments and terrible accomplishments that you are? Why do you find it frustrating to consider that black people can mold and shape history the same as we can through all the best and worst elements of our nature? Because that's what you're ascribing. No, you can be racist against anybody, especially white people, and you are racist against white people, and that means you're racist against yourself. You hate yourself, you probably hate your daddy, and so you're out in the world pretty much trying to bring an entire, non-white half of the earth low so that you can feel better about the fact that you realize that you're worthless, and it's true, you are worthless, but it's not because you're white. It's nothing to do with white or black or Asian or Latino or any of that. It's more the case that you're worthless because you never chose to apply yourself in a constructive way. You never chose to participate in building society. You always just wanted things, and you wanted them given to you, and you don't feel like, it should be incumbent upon you to work for anything that you want to have. You have an entitlement issue. And I think that's kind of sad. But it's not surprising, and I think we've all come to realize in latter years, the last decade or two, that this is just a kind of a pathological growth on college campuses and academia in general, that You guys are being trained like animals to just have this Pavlovian expectation of free shit every time you rattle off a bunch of canards and tropes. It's got to come to a stop. Tired of hearing about it. You guys are a bunch of fucking racists, and it is what it is. And every time that you speak for a color person that isn't your color, you're basically calling them an inferior and subhuman species. So maybe shut the hell up and get a job. Or keep the job you have and learn how to make my fucking coffee properly. That would be nice, you know, because you guys always fuck up my coffee order. You know, all those humanities degrees, and you can't even fucking figure out what creamer I asked for. You're pathetic. No wonder your dad left you.